Okay, here you go guys. Welcome for another live streaming here from Encoder Fashion, and today I want to share with you guys. I'm pretty excited about this sewing this dress right here in CLO 3D, and I will show you how to sew the dress from start to finish. However, though we only have 30-minute session, and if we have not finished sewing the dress, we will continue to the next session. By the way, thank you so much for requesting on how to sew this dress. I appreciate it, and I'm quite excited to show you how to sew this pleated dress. Now, by the way, guys, if you guys are new to Etsy, when you purchase this dress right here from Etsy, you will receive a zip file. So if you look at right here, we have zip file, and in that zip file, we have 3 files in this, the zip folder, excuse me, and we have 3 files. So we have DXF, we have right here. So we have DXF, we have PDF, and we have specs. So I'm going to simply minimize this and go to CLO, and I will show you how to do this. So right now I'm in CLO. I'm going to show you how to bring the pattern into CLO and then continue sewing. So first of all, give me a second. Let me check on. Okay, so right now we are on, and I'm going to, like I mentioned earlier, I will bring the pattern into first and then we'll begin sewing this dress. All right, to do so, we'll bring the entire folder into CLO by linking it to the CLO library. Okay, so we will go to the plus sign here, click on it, then navigate to that folder. So if you first download the file, you will see the zip folder in your download, and be sure to unzip it first. And then you want to select that unzip folder and then click on open. So if I click on that folder right there and I look it down here, I see 3 files: DXF, PDF, and CSV. So I'm going to simply right click on that DXF pattern here and then select add to workspace. Okay, and by default I have load type is add, that's what we want, and then scale, auto scale, do not rotate, maintain original. So down here under option, we want to check the swap cutting line and sewing line, include notches. And down here we have ratio bucket checks, that is perfect. We'll click on OK here. All right, so this is the pattern. So we look at the pattern here we have. Let's see if I have annotation show here. Seems like we don't have, so we have show pattern. So it seems like we don't have annotation here. My apology, guys. And we are going to simply modify this pattern first before we're gonna sew. So first of all, let's load the avatar, because we want to bring in the avatar down here so we get to see the pattern when we place them onto the avatar. To load the avatar, we'll go to the library panel and then double click on this avatar folder. We'll select this female underscore v2 and come down here. You can select any avatar you want. I will select Maya. So simply double click to load her into workspace. All right, so there she is. All right, there's a couple things we want to do here. First of all, I'm going to turn on the floor here. Simply go to this vertical toggle menu and then click on this environment display and then hover the mouse to the right. We want to turn on show ground grid. Okay, next we also want to change her hair here. So for some reason I quite don't like her hair, but not only that, maybe that's the only reason, I kind of like a different hair. So simply go to the avatar folders again, and then we want to select hair folder, double click and select any hair you want. I like this bun here, so double click on it. So If you have long hair onto this avatar, I would recommend change it to buns like that or super short hair, because we are going to have the next color of the dress back here. We do not want to have hair in the way. And I'm going to press on number 2 here to see the front view. And after that, let's move the pattern out of the way a little bit. We do not want to block the avatar here, so simply bring it over here just a little. All right, and up a little. Okay, and we want to come over here and click on this reset 2D arrange all here to arrange the pattern. So there we go, guys. Now we're gonna need to modify some of the pattern, because okay, first of all, we can show the pattern as is, except it's more complicated and take us more time. But if we move the pattern we don't need and we make a copy later, it's make it easier, if it makes sense. You will see in a minute after we continue showing or placing this pattern onto the avatar. So first of all, we do not need these facing. Simply my key selects all these facing, and you can either right click and then select delete over here, or you can press on the delete or backspace on your keyboard. Okay, so now we don't need those. And another thing here, we want to merge this front skirt together. So we will split it back, of course, but we're going to merge them first. Simply use this edit pattern tool, and then we want to click one right here, press on shift, click right here, right click, and then we want to select merge. Okay, all right, so if we look at closely here, we only merge the bottom part but not the dot. That's what we want. And next, we also want to come over here, and we want to, you see these lines right here, we are going to turn that into internal line. Simply use the stretch tool, click one right there, and then press on the return or enter on the keyboard to turn that into the internal line. And we want to come down here, we want to expand this pattern here. Simply use this edit pattern tool, and I'm going to click on this point here, excuse me, drag it down here and click on this point. We want to drag it out to pass that internal line so we can cut it. Okay, so next I'm going to click on that line right there, right click, and we want to select cut. Okay, next let's delete that piece right there. Simply switch the tool here to transform pattern tool, click on that piece, and then I'm going to press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard to delete. Next, we want to remove these points here, except this end point, as well as the notches. To remove the point, I will use this edit pattern tool here. My key selects these point here, and then press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard. We also want to delete these notches. Simply use this notch tool, and then my key selects all the notches, and then press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard to delete. Next, we want to create this curve here. We'll use this edit curvature tool here. Click on the edit curvature tool. Simply click and drag until it reaches that guideline right there, just like that. And now we're finished. Next, we want to come over here and we want to turn this line here to internal line, because we are going to fold this later. Simply use that trace tool once again, guys. Click on it to select, click one right here, press on shift, click one right here, and then press on return into on the keyboard to turn them into the internal lines. All right, so now we are finished modifying the pattern. Next, we are going to show this top part first. To do so, first let my key select, let's switch the tool back to transform pattern tool. My key selects this pattern, and I'm going to right click and then select freeze. So now the pattern is freeze, and over here we want to place this pattern onto the avatar. So to place this pattern onto the avatar, by the way guys, to zoom in or out, scroll the mouse wheel forward to zoom in and scroll the mouse wheel backward to zoom out. Let me expand this window a little. Okay, so before we gonna go any further, let's save this pattern for now. So if something happens, we will not lose it. Simply go to File and then select Save As, and then projects, and we want to name this like pleated dress, and I'm going to make a copy the name here. And let's save it to my desktop, create a new folder, and then paste the name. So I would recommend create a folder to save any projects file, because the file comes with two. One is image and one is the project file. So I'm going to click on create here and then click on save. Okay. All right. So now we're safe to continue. So next we are going to place this pattern onto the avatar. To place the pattern, we'll come over here to the vertical toggle menu and then click on this avatar display, hover the mouse to the right, and we want to select show arrangement point. Or you can press on Shift F here for a shortcut key. Alright, now we're going to place the left side first. Simply click, hover the mouse over the avatar, click one right there to place, and let's bring it over here just a little, and then click one right here, then right here, bring it out just a little. And let's hide the show arrangement point here, simply pressing on Shift plus F. And let's pan it down, pressing on Option or All, and then click. Alright, so here we want to show these dots, okay, as well as the front here shut. And we want to fold this next right here because we want this to go back. Alright, before we're going to do that though, let's just turn on the, we want to come over here to this garment display at the vertical toggle menu, click on it, hover the mouse to the right, we want to click on show internal lines, okay. So this allows us to see the internal line here, and then we're going to click and fold. So I'm going to rotate this a little bit further and bring the pattern closer to the avatar. And over here the same thing, so rotate, bring it closer to the avatar and closer to the front here. And next, let's use this fold arrangement tool here, guys. Choose me. We want to click on that fold arrangement tool, click right here, and I'm going to simply bend it in just like that. Okay, rotate, and then the same right here. So we're gonna rotate until it kind of bend just like that, and then rotate a little bit further. Okay, and click on right here. Okay, so when I'm on this fold arrangement tool, I can't click on the garment, so I have to switch to select smooth tool here, then click on the pattern, and then I'm going to kind of shift it back like this. Okay, just like that. All right, so right here we'll do the same, click and then kind of shift it backward. All right, so right now I'm going to bring it further. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to come over here and then sew this pattern together. I will use this segment sewing tool, guys, and click one right here to sew. So be sure the sewing notches are parallel to each other. And right here, the same with the dots. Dot here, here. Alright. And we also want to strengthen this pattern. Simply switch the tool back to transform pattern tool. So if you guys are new to CLO and here is your first time, CLO is quite particular with the tool. If you're on the wrong tool, you'll not be able to do certain things. So no worry, guys. If you feel frustrated, simply double check on your tool. If certain function doesn't appear like you expected, simply check on the tool if you are on the right tool or not. Okay, so now I'm going to my key, select both the pattern, right click, and then select strengthen. Okay, and if I rotate it and look at this 3D, I'm going to see right here the sewing kind of gets snug to the avatar. We want that to a little bit further here, so bring it out and let kind of push it further, just like that, and bring it up a little. So a goal here, we want this fabric here to go past but not too close, that's snug into the avatar, because the tangling is not gonna be pretty. So I'm going to adjust one by one here, click and then bring it out just a little, and let bring it up a little more. So right there. So tuck in a little, no problem, but if it tuck in too much, it will cause this collision. However, though it is showing here, we want to kind of pull it further and let rotate this up, just like that. Okay. And the rotation here, we kind of want this out here and look pretty good right now. Let's bring it up a little bit further. Alright, so now looks like we are safe to simulate. I will click on the simulation icon to simulate. Okay, it's actually looking pretty good. So here we want this right here, pretty much in the center. Okay, just like that. And let's check the back pattern. It actually looking pretty good. Let's stop the simulation for now. And alright, so now the front part is done. Next, we want to sew this front skirt here to the top first. Alright, so if I look at closely here, I missed one notch here on this side. We are going to create that notch here. So a goal here, we want to sew from here to here, here to here, and we will begin from the center first. So let's measure this notch right here. We want to know. So my apology guys, I actually missed this notch here, which I should not. 4.21, the notch here from here. So I'm going to create a notch here, 4.21. Simply use this notch tool, hover the mouse over that pattern outline there, right click, and then type in 4.21. So we want to create a notch right here from outside of the side seam here to center, and that is 4.21. Click on OK. Okay, and I'm going to switch the tool here to transform pattern tool so we get to see the notch better right there. All right, so next we're going to sew this dot and then sew the front part of the skirt and the top. To do that, I will once again use the segment sewing tool guide. If you click on it long enough, there you will see more tool underneath it. We'll select segment sewing tool and we'll begin sewing the dot first. Okay, just like that. And now we're gonna sew here. So you can sew from top down, doesn't matter. The one thing that we want to pay attention is that the sewing notch here has to be parallel. So right here, one, click to start, and click one to start. And I would recommend begin sewing either from left to right, right to left, not mix, because that could get you confused and you miss some sewing and stuff. It just saves you time. And over here, now we're gonna go here from center out, just like that, and here, here. So if we look at right here, we have 3 segments on each side. Okay. And next we are going to unfreeze this first. To unfreeze, I will use the transform pattern tool and simply unfreeze all of it, no problem. Or you can also unfreeze one. How about let unfreeze all of it? Right click and then select unfreeze. So after that, we're going to click on that front pattern there. And over here, as you can see right here, I'm going to bring it down here, close to the avatar, and kind of leave it right beneath it, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to simulate and see how it looks. All right, so it actually looking pretty good. So that is the front, and I'm going to rotate here. So next we're going to sew the back side of the pattern, actually of the skirt. Once again, we'll turn on that show arrangement point, we'll go to the vertical toggle menu and then click on that avatar display, hover the mouse to the right, turn on that show arrangement point. And by the way guys, this video here is focusing on for light close showing for beginner, which it is a step-by-step pattern showing in close 3D. And if you guys want to see more fast pace, I have a tutorial or mini tutorial here. So let me show you. We're in Encoder fashion here, and right here I have member only. You can watch all these videos without have to worry about advertisement, and you have many free tutorial that with advertisement on how to sew and make women clothing using close 3D. Okay, let me close this. So by the way, this is a goal here to achieve these looks when we finish with the dress. Okay, let me close that now. We don't need it because my computer is kind of heating up with the clothes rendering and so on. All right, so next let's come over here and I'm going to place this back pattern onto the skirt, onto the avatar. We want to simply click on this once again, left side pattern, and then hover the mouse over that, and then click one to place the pattern onto the avatar and bring it down here, right kind of above that penny line there. And the same with here, click one right here to place and simply bring it down just like that. Let me kind of bring this out a little and let hide the show arrangement point for now, pressing on shift plus F to hide. Next we want to sew this pattern. To sew the pattern, once again we'll use this segment sewing tool, and I'm going to begin sewing the side seam here together, and then center seam, and then dots. Right. There you go. So next, let's simulate. I will click on the simulation button right here to simulate. Alright, so actually the dress looking pretty good, guys. I'm going to stop the simulation. Next, we want to sew this part right here. Okay, to sew this part, we are going to once again use segment sewing tool. Simply click and then click right here to sew to, and rotate. We want to sew the opposite side here. Click right here and then be sure the sewing here are parallel, and then let's simulate here, and there you go. So far the dress fitting really well onto the avatar. So next we need to apply the elastic here, as well as create the lining and apply the zipper right here, and we are almost done. Oh, one more thing though, the pleat here, we have to do the pleat because that's the most elegant dress right here for this pleat. So to sew the pleat here, this is quite interesting, guys, because we are going to simply sew this and then create the pleat later. So if we look at over here, I have this notch here. Okay, so we're going to sew here to this notch here, but we will use different tool though. We'll use the free sewing tool. We will begin from left, click one to start, and then click right here to in, and then I'm going to zoom in here and press on shift and then click here to here, 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 and then continue clicking, come to this notch, click once again and release the shift key, and now we're finished, and let it synchronize. Alright, so after that we're going to bring this front part here to the front. Simply switch the tool here to transform pattern tool, click one right here, and I'm going to bring this pattern over. So first of all, I'm going to right click on that pattern and then select reset 2D arrangement. And if you look at over here now, this pattern here is flat, and I'm going to simply click and then bring it over to the front of the skirt here. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and then click on the simulation button right here to simulate. Okay, and actually looking pretty good here. So next we want to sew these side seam together. This time we'll use segment sewing tool. Click one right here to start, and then click one right here, and let's simulate again, and then stop the simulation. So right here it's looking pretty good. Let's strengthen that pattern here and simulate again. Okay, now it looks much better here. Let me try something here. I'm going to shrink here. So click on the front pattern, come over here to this property editor. Let's shrink the warp, excuse me, the web here to, let's say, maybe 98. Press on return enter on the keyboard, and let's simulate here. So actually make this more relaxed. Let's increase that or decrease that to 95, and then simulate again. So now you see the top here more relaxed, and we will unshrink it afterward. Okay, and stop the simulation. Alright, so let's save here. I'm going to press on Command or Control plus letter S to save the file. Alright, it's actually quite exciting, guys, because with this pleat tool you make your job so much like easier and faster. Okay, so now I'm going to simply use this pleat tool. So to use the pleat tool, we'll come over here and click on that pleat tool, and over here we have pleats, pleats fold, and pleat sewing. We will select this pleat here, and if I hover the mouse over this baseline here, we see this arrow line pop up. I'm going to click and then click once again to bring this pleat window. By default I have 9 pleat bucket check, and come over here, we want to link this line here. So we want to link the start and end here, and we want to change this number of pleat to 7. Okay, and we want to change this start here to 2. Alright, so if we look at right here, now my pleated disappear. I'm going to simply let change something here, why it disappear, or let cancel and then try it again. So one more time here, and I'm going to this time let's change this number first to 7. Okay, and for some reason it disappears again, and I'm going to simply link this and this. Alright, so somehow, oh, I see what it is. So I'm going to cancel, and then this time click twice here, and this time I'm going to simply turn these links on. Okay, and then turn this number here. Oh, I see what happened. We are going to turn this here to only 2. Okay, and then turn this number here to 7. Alright, so if I move this window over here, now you see this pleat right here created automatically for us. Next we're going to click on OK here to confirm. So now let's close synchronize, and if I look at right here, we create these perfect pleats. Alright, so next we are going to do a couple of things here before we're going to simulate. Simply come over here to the transform pattern tool, and we are going to click one on the page, right click, and select log all pattern outlines. Then I will switch the tool here to edit pattern tool, and we want to marquee select all these internal line here, and then come over here to this property editor, and we want to turn on this full rendering. Okay, and after that I'm gonna switch the tool here to transform pattern tool, and let click on that top pattern there, right click and select reset 3D arrangement. Alright, after that we are going to click on the simulation button right here to simulate. Okay, so actually the pleats looking pretty good, guys. Let me rotate it to see it around, and I'm going to stop the simulation, and there we go. Now all we need to do here, apply the fabric and apply the zipper. Or one more important thing here, we want to also create the lining. Alright, so okay, by the way guys, right now it is 30-minute pass, so we are going to continue this session until next week. Okay, I promise next week we'll pick it up where we left off. So thank you so much for being here, guys, and I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend, or actually weekday, because I'm streaming on a Monday. And if you guys have any question at all, please leave the comment right below the video. I promise to read the comment and do my best to create as many tutorials as I can, because I know it can be stressful sometimes when you start learning a new software like this, because we all go through it. I'm a slow learner, and sometimes I struggle with certain things, especially with text, and it can be frustrating. So if you guys have any question at all, leave the comment, ask question under the video description. I promise to read and respond. All right, thank you guys so much for being here, and check out Encoder Fashion for more courses. Join the member to support Encoder Fashion, and once again, give a thumbs up. This will help people find the video more easily on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Bye. See you next streaming.